Today's video is for the person who has tried again and again and again, year after year. You say, this is gonna be your year. This is gonna be the year that everything changes. This is the year I'm gonna lose weight. This is the year I'm gonna start exercising. And year after year, you feel motivated, and just a few days or a few weeks in, you lose heart, you give up. And year after year, you wonder, will I ever truly change my life? I want to share this video today because that was me 2 years ago on the other side of the screen, watching a very similar video to this, I'm sure, trying to just find the motivation to get started at 230 pounds and depressed and feeling like I had lost myself as a person, as a mom, and just feeling so stuck in my body. And so today, let me be very clear, I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. I'm not a doctor or dietitian or personal trainer, but I've learned a lot. I've lost over 100 pounds, and I've had to figure out that it's not all about perfection. You have to throw that out the window, and failure really isn't an option if you don't let it be. So let's dive into some habits and mindset shifts that I would implement in 2025 if I wanted to start all over again. If we were hanging out today, maybe sharing a cup of coffee and just chit-chatting about life, and you came to me and said, Amy, what is the most important thing that you have learned over the last few years of embarking on this health journey? What's taught you the most? I would tell you to focus on more and not less. I think this has been the biggest piece of the puzzle for me in changing my mindset and really helping me sustain a healthy lifestyle. And what do I mean by that? I think our society focuses so much on restriction and less of when we think about health, weight loss, fitness, diet, whatever. Less calories, less food, less carbs, less sugar, less processed things, less seed oils, less XYZ, right? Take away, take away, take away. And while there's a time and a place, and I'm not saying if you live, a seed oil free lifestyle, that's wrong. It's not. But when you're so focused on what you can't have, we're human. Our nature, we're gonna want what we can't have. And living in a cycle of restriction does not lead to longevity and overall success for long periods of time. Instead, focus on what you're trying to get more of. Focus on what you want to add to your life, not take away. More protein, more fiber, more vegetables. Maybe it's more steps, more movement, more water. The more you try to add to your life, the less room you're going to have for the other stuff. And it's just such a better place to be at mentally. Something else I'm focusing on right now, or I have been for the last few months, is more muscle. Instead of worrying about losing fat, I've just been focusing on building muscle. And I actually have this really cool body analyzer from Hume Health, and I wanted to tell you guys about it today because they're the sponsor of today's video. The Body Pod is the world's first portable body analyzer, which uses 8 frequency sensors to deliver precise weight, full body composition, and heart health to advance your weight and health management journey. The advanced sensors embedded in the handle are able to scan your torso, arms, and legs, and even heart at an accuracy of 98% compared to medical grade health scans. And what's really cool is that the Body Pod comes with a free app that allows you to track goals and progress and collect all of that data all in one place. And it's been really cool to track my progress here on the app and really see where I'm improving or maybe areas that I need to work on. So in here, just a few examples of the data that I track. I, of course, like to see what my weight is, but it goes so much more beyond that. My personal favorite things to keep tabs on are my overall body fat percentage, my BMR, that's your metabolic rate. But then beyond that, I really like to see kind of what my lean muscle mass is, what that number is, and to see if it's slowly growing. Other really cool thing is that you can put in your goals into this Hume Health app. So based on whether maybe you want to lose weight, build muscle, whatever it might be, you can put your goals right in the app. It will track your progress. You can hit different milestones. Here, I recently changed my health goals to building some muscle. And so I'm trying to put on a few more pounds. And so based on that, it gives me what my calorie breakdown should be. And then as I weigh myself every day, it uses technology to calculate and recalibrate and just give me the most accurate numbers it can based on my body scan, which is so cool. I love the science behind that. So Hume Health is currently having a month-long holiday sale up to 35% off. But if you use code AmyFritz in all caps, you'll get up to 50% off of your total, which is a great deal. And I wanted to mention to those of you who live in the United States that the Body Pod is HSA and FSA eligible. So if you have some money that you need to spend before year end, it does qualify towards that. There'll be more details down in the description below. And thanks again, Hume Health, for sponsoring today's video. Another thing that is so important in changing your mindset and wanting to live a healthier life is to be intentional. So many of us, myself included, for a very long time, walk through life without intention in the areas that we want to see change. And that just doesn't happen. You need intentionality. And something my therapist had me do early last year, I was really struggling with some time management and feeling stressed and feeling like I didn't have time for anything and all of that. And she said, Amy, I want you to take your notebook and I want you to write down what a perfect workday looks like for you. From the time you get out of bed until the time you go to bed. Write it down. And that is an eye-opening exercise. I encourage you to try it because we really limit ourselves in our day-to-day. And all it takes is a little bit of intentionality to see those changes happen. A few examples of simple intentions maybe include planning your lunches for the week. What are you gonna have for lunch every day this week? So that when lunchtime rolls around on a Thursday afternoon, you aren't tempted to go run through the drive-thru. Maybe it's intentionally parking farther away from the store if you're trying to get more steps in. Maybe it's laying out your gym clothes the night before so that you're more apt to put them on and get your workout done in the morning. Maybe it's something as simple and minuscule as leaving a glass by the sink or by your water dispenser so that every time you walk by it, you drink more water. These are little things that seem kind of silly in the moment, but they're intentional. That's you setting up yourself for the things that you want, the changes you want to see to happen. That's how you make it practical and set it up for success. Another great way to be intentional that's a little bit different than just those everyday mundane routine things is to set specific goals. It's proven. Studies show that goal-oriented people, somebody striving for a goal, is going to be more productive than those who are not. And so find small attainable goals that you can set for yourself daily, weekly, monthly, annually. You should be writing them down. You should be thinking about what you want. I can tell you from experience, if I had not made an initial goal to follow a Couch to 5K program, I would have never ran a marathon. And now getting ready to run my second. Maybe it's not running specifically. Maybe your goal is 10,000 steps a day. Maybe your goal is to sign up for CrossFit and attend 3 classes per week. They don't have to be some big, huge thing. It can be simple but attainable things that you know you're working towards. And crossing off those goals, completing those goals are going to lead you to feel happier and more productive, which is going to then in turn snowball your motivation to keep you going. So be intentional with not only your day, but the goals you set, because it'll in turn show how you live your life. The third and final mindset shift I want to talk about that I think is so important when it comes to starting any kind of health journey is that your whole self or your whole person matters. You can be super focused on your physical health, but if you're neglecting yourself mentally, emotionally, your stress, you're not going to find healthy balance in your life, and vice versa. You can be really focused on your mental health, but you're not getting physical activity. You're not going to be mentally your best self. And so incorporating both of those, knowing they go hand in hand, is so, so important. And so a couple simple habits in my life that I have found that have helped me, one being more sleep. If you want to be a healthier person, no matter what, across the board, this is like a universal rule of thumb. You need more sleep. And I know there's seasons of life where that's just not feasible, and that's okay. But there's a reason they use sleep deprivation as a form of torture. There is nothing worse than being under-rested. You just physically and mentally feel terrible. And so get more sleep. Do what you can to get more sleep. I try to get into bed 1 to 2 hours before I actually want to fall asleep. And that way I'm sure to fall asleep within the right time frame. Doesn't always happen. I'm not perfect with it, but I've been doing it a lot more recently and it helps tremendously. So that's my tip for more sleep. Also, managing your stress. It's really important for both your physical and mental health. Some of the key ways that I like to manage my stress that I found that work really well for me over the last couple of years. First being, I eat that frog. And if you've not read the book by Brian Tracy, you're probably like, what is she talking about? He wrote a book called Eat That Frog, and the premise behind it is basically, in a nutshell, when you write a to-do list and you're looking at your day, the thing that you're dreading the most is what you tackle first. Do not put off the things that you dread. Stop avoiding, and you'll mentally just be such a better person for it. And it's so true. I was a chronic procrastinator for years and years, and it showed in my stress levels big time. So eat that frog, do the thing you're dreading first in the day, just knock it out, will manage your stress. Another thing I found that helps me manage my stress tremendously is I take my phone and I put it in timeout twice a day. This was something I had to work up to because, believe it or not, we are addicted to these things, sometimes without even realizing it. I encourage you, start with 10 minutes, put this in a drawer for 10 minutes and see if your eye doesn't start twitching. We are so attached, we are so needy of this. It's basically part of our identity, and it's not healthy. It's really not. And so what I like to do is in the morning, I will put this in a drawer for an hour, or I'll leave it on the charger or whatever. I put on do not disturb mode. I don't look at my phone for an hour. And leaving yourself alone with your thoughts is such a beautiful thing, and not having the constant hit of dopamine, so good for you. I encourage you to try it. And then in the evening, I do the same thing. Usually around the time I'm making dinner, I will put this away for an hour, and I intentionally do this in the evening so that my kids are home, so that my kids see me without my phone, and that I can spend quality time with them without distraction, and making sure they're feeling seen and heard and valued. And it's been really, really good for my relationship with my kids. When I was struggling in depression and struggling before really starting my health journey, I was kind of hiding behind this a lot, and I was not my best self or the best mom in the world. And life happens, and there's grace, and I'm thankful that things have changed. But again, it comes back to being intentional, and putting my phone away in the evening just for an hour has been a game changer. I feel like I get lots of little pockets of quality time with my kiddos, both collectively and one-on-one, and it's been really special. So that's been a great way that I managed my stress. And of course, this last one goes without saying, but the best thing you can do for your mental and physical health is move your body. Find movement you love, that sparks a fire in you, that brings you joy. We have so many options available to us, whether it's strength training or running or walking or bicycling or sports, pickleball, tennis, yoga, Pilates, kickboxing, CrossFit. There are so many options out there. Maybe you like to find solitude when you work out, so you like to run alone or strength train at home alone. Maybe you are a social butterfly and group classes are your jam or CrossFit is your jam, that's awesome. Do what works for you. Do what's going to get you moving, that's going to create longevity because you actually want to keep doing it. All forms of exercise are going to feel like a chore from time to time. We're not all motivated all the time, but if you can find something that you enjoy doing most of the time, it's going to pay off. I know for me, over the last 2 years, I've discovered running and long distance running, and I love it. There are days I don't want to go run. Like this morning, it was pouring rain and 45 degrees. I didn't want to go run, but I did it. I ate my frog. That was my frog for today. But, I love it so much because of the way it makes me feel. I feel great physically when I run, and the endorphins and the mental high or the joy that it brings me, I can't imagine my life without it. And so find that thing, whatever it is, and you're gonna be so much better for it, both mentally and physically. Well, friends, those are the few mindset shifts I really wanted to share today. I wanted to keep things simple and encourage you on your journey as you maybe embark on living a healthier, happier life in 2025. Know that I'm rooting for you. I am your biggest cheerleader. Please leave comments down below. Send me messages over on Instagram. I'll leave my handle right here. Share your story with me. I would love to encourage you. I'd love to be a friend for you in this process if that's something you're embarking on this year. And know that I'm just so thankful for you. Thanks for watching today. Just as a reminder, remember, focus on what you can get more of. That's a huge key to success in being healthier. Focus on being more intentional, and then focus on your whole self, right? Focus on how to mentally and physically be your best through rest, through managing stress, because life is crazy, and moving your body. And I promise you, you're gonna live a happier, healthier life in 2025. You got this. Like I said, I'm rooting for you, and I'll see you really soon in my next video. Bye, friends.